Oh, there's a little red light on the camera. Shit! That's right, it's Order In, where everyone knows your name. Today we're making rosemary chicken pasties with a mustard cream sauce. This is a copycat recipe of a dish I had at the Cornish Pasty Company in Tempe, Arizona. A wonderful little restaurant, but I think we did it better. Speaking of we, cooking in the kitchen, we have my wonderful wife Pixie, the amazing cinematographer Mike, and of course me. The order of magnitude of this dish is a 7. While there are a lot of steps, none of them are particularly hard, but we are making our own pastry dough. The first thing we want to do now is marinate. Chop up some rosemary as fresh as you can find it, and add it to a large container with about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds of chicken tenders. Then toss in a heavy pinch of salt, a heavy pinch of black pepper, a healthy splash of apple cider vinegar, and a bit of olive oil. Get that massaged into the meat until it is mixed up and homogeneous. And then wrap it up in some cling film and get it into the fridge for about an hour minimum and 3 hours maximum. While that's marinating, we'll make up some pastry dough. Pastry dough can be a real pain in the ass to make, but this is a very easy recipe to do. You do need a food processor to do it, but you should already own one of those anyway. Start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour and add that to the work bowl of your food processor. To that, we'll add 1 stick of butter that's been chopped into cubes and frozen solid. Lastly, for now, we'll add just under a tablespoon of sugar and just over a teaspoon of salt. Pulse this on and off for about 30 seconds to a minute, or until the mixture looks something like this. And then we add about 7 tablespoons of ice-cold water. It's important that the water is ice-cold to keep the butter pieces firm, which will give us the flaky, luxurious texture we are looking for in this pastry dough. We want to mix the water in very quickly in only about 4 or 5 long pulses. The mixture will turn from a floury white to a slightly buttery color. Now this is where it gets weird. I know this will look nothing like pastry dough, but trust me here. Turn out your mixture onto a large floured work surface and start squishing it together. Before your very eyes, the dough will come together into a soft, sticky, and delicious ball. Wrap it up in cling film and we're going to toss it into the fridge while we keep on keeping on. Time to talk veggies. Start by peeling and chopping 4 large sweet onions and then get them into a pan on medium-high heat with a pat of butter and a heavy pinch of salt. Then peel and chop 1 pound of carrots. It was around then that I realized I had to laugh like an evil genius. Get the carrots onto a large square of aluminum foil and toss them with some olive oil, some black pepper, some garlic powder, a bit of kosher salt, and whatever hot chili pepper you may have on hand. My father just happens to grow, dry roast, and grind his own Thai chili peppers, so I'm a bit partial to those, but I'm an elitist douchebag. Get them wrapped up and toss them into a 400-degree oven until tender, about 20 to 30 minutes. By that point, your onion should look something like this. Get those reserved and into a bowl along with the carrots. And while you were cooking those, you did peel and chop about 4 russet potatoes, boiling them in water seasoned with a bit of salt, a bit of garlic powder, and some rosemary that was bruised until it was tender, and then reserved them in a bowl, right? Good. Now, roasted red peppers. There are many different ways of doing these, but my go-to method in an apartment is to set my broiler on high and just toss them under there until they are thoroughly blackened, then toss them into a bowl with a nice fitting lid until they're soft, and then get to peeling. Shouldn't be too hard to get them fully peeled, seeded, and get those tops off and reserve them on a plate along with everything else. You remember that chicken that we marinated in the beginning of the video? It's about time to get it cooked. Fry the chicken in batches in a hot pan with a little bit of oil until both sides are golden brown and delicious. It's not necessary that the chicken cook thoroughly, as it'll cook thoroughly in the pasty, so don't worry about that. Once they're all done, reserve them on a plate, immediately remove the pan from the heat, and deglaze with about a half a beer. I used a cheap beer because it's what I had. Doesn't really matter, I suppose. Once all of the brown bits at the bottom are taken off, we're going to put in a little Worcestershire sauce, some spicy brown kind of German-style mustard, and some good old-fashioned Gulden's mustard. Whisk that into the mixture until it is homogeneous, just like the original marinade, and cook it down until it's a bit syrupy. And then we will add the cream part of its name, the cream! I didn't really measure it, and I don't expect you to either. Put in a nice healthy splash until it looks something like this. Remove it from the heat, and you've got a delicious sauce. Get the chicken chopped up into little mini bite-sized chunks and toss those into a bowl, and we're ready for construction. Now is the time to get all of your ingredients in front of a large work surface to roll out the dough, because when this pasty train starts a-rolling, it doesn't stop for nothing.
Speaking of which, it's time to lace the pipe.
Oh God.
Liberally flour your work surface and bring on the dough. Each pasty dough recipe will make 2 pasties, so you want to scale up the dough according to however many you're going to want to make. Get that into a nice little disc, and then begin rolling it out into a much larger disc. Yes, I used some PVC pipe that I got from the hardware store. It was cheap, it's thick, it's amazing, and I love it. I wouldn't use anything else. Once you have your dough round to something around this size, we bring on the first layer of ingredients. I like to start with the dry and then move on to the wet, so first off we pile on some delicious little chicken nibbly nubblies bits, and then I go with a bit of the Russet Potato, after which we're going to throw on a bit of carrot. I say a bit of carrot because it's bit of carotene, ha ha ha, ha ha ha. Here's some onions, and then sauce. Now there is one ingredient that you, I don't think are ready for that I haven't talked about yet. That's right, delicious Swiss cheese. Yeah, it's not special, so I didn't see fit to put it earlier on in the film, but there you go, Swiss cheese. We'll toss on the final piece de resistance in the form of roasted red pepper, and fold over our pasty. You only want to bring it until you have a little bit of extra dough on the bottom, because then you're going to start crimping it up. I really don't care how my crimps look, and I don't expect you to either. Get it up and onto an oiled sheet pan, and then that's when we wash it. Brush the top of it with an egg wash, which is just an egg beaten with a splash of water. And then pick off any stray bits of roasted red pepper, and then get it and a buddy into a 400-degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes, or until it looks something like this.
Delicious pasties. There's almost nothing better. Thanks again for tuning in, and remember, why order out when you can hang with us and order in? Cheers.